Greetings, cozy knights. Lower your swords and rest by the fire. Tonight, we journey through the shadowed realm of Elden Ring Nightreign, where ancient secrets slumber beneath the eternal twilight, waiting for those brave enough to uncover them. The land of Limveld stretches before us, warped and twisted by forces beyond mortal comprehension. Where once the golden guidance of grace illuminated the path forward, now only silver pools of spectral light mark our passage through this alternate timeline. The shattering occurred here too, as it did in the world we once knew, but instead of tarnished being called back to restore order, something else answered the call. The night arrived, personified by Hailstor the Night Lord, and with it came a heavy rain called the Night's Tide that threatens to wash away the very history of this realm. But you are not alone in this darkness. You are a Nightfarer, summoned to the crumbling round table hold alongside warriors from different eras, different lands, bound together not by shared purpose, but by collective will. The will to cross the endless night and fight on, even when all seems lost. 8 champions stand ready, each carrying their own burdens, their own stories, their own secrets waiting to be discovered. Tonight, we will uncover 100 hidden truths about this realm. Some are mechanical advantages that will aid you in your expeditions. Others are pieces of lore, fragments of stories that paint a fuller picture of this dying world. All of them exist just beneath the surface, waiting for patient souls to discover them. So settle into your chosen spot by the fire, let the warmth wash over you, and allow my voice to guide you through the mysteries of Nightreign. Part 1. The Twisted Geography of Limveld. Secret number 1. The map holds more than it shows. When you first open your map in Limveld, you see the familiar geography of what was once Limgrave, but something feels fundamentally wrong about it. The landscape has been compressed, condensed into a tighter space where every location matters. What many Nightfarers miss is that the map itself contains hidden layers of information that only reveal themselves through specific actions. The map has toggle options that most players never discover. Press the designated button to switch between surface and underground views, revealing an entirely separate network of passages and chambers beneath your feet. But there is a third layer, one that only appears after you conquer a fort or stronghold. Once you clear these locations, the map transforms, revealing the positions of golden scarabs that drop precious talismans, hidden treasure containers marked with subtle symbols, and most importantly, a special merchant who only appears after the fort falls. This merchant does not sell ordinary wares. Their inventory contains powerful buffs that can fundamentally alter the course of your run. Damage resistance potions that last an entire day. Elemental infusions for your starting weapon. Even items that extend the shrinking circle of safety, giving you precious extra minutes to prepare before the night boss arrives. Missing this revelation means missing opportunities that could mean the difference between triumph and defeat. Secret number 2. The Shifting Earth tells a story. The Shifting Earth events that occur after defeating Night Lords are not random chaos, but carefully orchestrated transformations with specific themes and rewards. When you see the notification that the Earth has shifted, pay attention to which transformation has taken hold, because each one offers unique advantages that savvy Nightfarers can exploit. The Mountaintop transformation grants the favor of the Mountaintop buff, which reduces both frostbite damage and frost buildup. If you know you will face enemies or bosses that rely on cold damage, timing your expedition during this shift gives you a natural advantage. Similarly, the Rotted Woods event nullifies Scarlet Rot completely and increases your maximum health, while attacks after receiving damage partially recover HP. This transforms defensive play into an offensive advantage, rewarding aggressive tactics that would normally be suicidal. But the most intriguing is Nuklateo, the Shrouded City, which allows you to recover from death a single time unaided and become more powerful for a short time afterward. This hidden resurrection mechanic can save a failed run, turning what would have been a party wipe into an opportunity for a dramatic comeback. The power boost you receive after revival is substantial enough to turn the tide of difficult encounters, making this particular shift one of the most valuable for challenging Night Lord attempts. Secret number 3. Sites of Grace hide revival zones. Here is a secret that can change everything. If you die in close proximity to Sites of Grace, you can resurrect yourself without the help of your teammates. The game never explicitly tells you this, and the window of opportunity is brief, but understanding this mechanic can turn hopeless situations into survivable ones. When you fall in battle near a Site of Grace, your downed form can crawl. Most players panic and wait for allies to reach them, but if you are close enough to the Grace's radius, you can drag yourself into its healing aura. While you don't have unlimited time for this, if you act quickly enough and crawl into the radius of Grace, you will be automatically resurrected. This mechanic rewards strategic positioning during fights. If you know a difficult encounter awaits, positioning yourself with a Site of Grace at your back gives you an insurance policy. Pull enemies toward the Grace rather than away from it. In solo play especially, this knowledge can be the difference between completing an expedition and starting over from the beginning. Secret number 4. Ruins contain illusory floors. Beneath almost every ruin in Limveld lies a hidden area accessed through illusory floors that look slightly different from the surrounding terrain. These secret dungeons contain treasure chests and talismans with a significantly higher drop rate than surface loot, but finding them requires a keen eye and knowledge of where to look. The piece of land that hides the secret dungeon beneath ruins is slightly off-textured, appearing just different enough from the surrounding floor to notice if you increase your brightness settings. The illusory floor shimmers subtly, almost like heat distortion on a summer day, but you have to be looking for it to see it. Currently, Nightreign has only 2 types of ruin layouts, and the developers place the hidden area in the same spot in each ruin type. This means once you learn the patterns, you can find these secrets consistently. In the first ruin type, you can find the hidden area after walking a few meters in front of the entrance. In the second ruin type, the hidden area is found after taking a left turn from the entrance, reaching the end, then taking a right turn. The rewards make this knowledge invaluable. Down in these shadowy dungeons, you will find equipment upgrades, rare talismans that never appear on the surface, and occasionally even legendary weapon drops. The hidden location is usually found where bosses spawn, so you can use boss positioning as a hint to start your search. Secret number 5. Buried treasure locations are misleading. When the map marks a buried treasure location, it is actually indicating a general area rather than a specific spot. Many players waste precious time digging at the exact point the icon shows, not realizing the actual treasure chest is hidden nearby, tucked behind a rock formation, concealed in brush, or even suspended from a tree branch. The treasures are typically chests that have been hidden from plain sight, though the level of concealment varies. Some are obvious once you are in the general vicinity. Others require methodical searching, checking every nook and corner of the marked region. The key is understanding that buried treasure icons represent zones, not points. When you see one, slow down. Approach carefully and survey the environment from multiple angles. Look up at overhangs and tree branches. Check behind environmental objects. The chest is always there, but the game rewards those patient enough to search thoroughly, rather than those who rush to the marked location and give up when nothing appears. Secret number 6. Fort towers reveal. Strategic intelligence. Climbing to the very top of fort towers reveals more than just a nice view. At the summit, you will often find maps showing the locations of 3 nearby scarabs, those valuable creatures that drop talismans when destroyed. This intelligence allows you to plan efficient routes through the surrounding area, maximizing your equipment gains before the night falls. These maps display scarab locations as glowing points, making it easy to plot a course that hits all 3 in quick succession. Since talismans provide permanent passive bonuses for your current run, collecting multiple scarabs before facing the night boss significantly increases your power level. But the towers offer more than just maps. From their heights, you gain perfect sight lines to survey approaching threats, spot distant points of interest, and plan your next moves. Some towers even contain hidden NPCs who offer unique quests or valuable information about the current Night Lord's weaknesses. Always climb to the top. Always survey the land. Knowledge is survival in Limveld. Secret number 7. The night's tide shrinks. Predictably, the blue flames that form the shrinking circle of safety follow a predictable pattern based on time elapsed and bosses defeated. Understanding this pattern allows you to plan expeditions with perfect efficiency, hitting key locations right before they become inaccessible. The ring shrinks in stages, not continuously. There are specific trigger points, usually tied to in-game time milestones, when the circle contracts. Learn these timings, and you will know exactly how much time you have to explore distant regions before you must retreat toward the center. This knowledge transforms how you approach each day. Instead of frantically rushing from location to location in fear of the encroaching night's tide, you can move with purpose, hitting high-value targets in the outer regions during early windows of safety, then methodically working your way inward as the circle tightens. Resources that seem impossibly far away become reachable when you understand you have exactly 8 minutes before the next contraction. Secret number 8. Cracked statues. Hold dormant powers. Throughout Limveld stand ancient statues, their stone forms cracked and glowing with faint energy. These statues can be broken open to release powerful rewards, but they require specific methods to crack. Several approaches can shatter these statues. Wilder's ultimate ability, Guardian's ultimate, Raider's ultimate, or leading a boss or strong opponent to smash into the statue. Each method has its advantages. Using your ultimate is direct but costs your most powerful ability. Luring enemies to break the statue for you conserves resources, but requires precise positioning and timing. Inside these statues, you will find everything from smithing stones for weapon upgrades to complete legendary weapons wrapped in crystalline sleep. Some statues contain unique talismans found nowhere else in the game. The glowing cracks indicate which statues can be broken. Not all ancient statuary hold secrets, only those marked by the telltale fissures and inner light. Secret number 9. Wending Grace is your second chance. The Wending Grace item, sold by merchants in Limveld or the Spirit Shelter, grants 1 free revive. In solo play especially, this can be the difference between success and failure, giving you a second chance when you would otherwise be sent back to the Round Table hold. Make sure to purchase Wending Grace before day 2 ends, as having this safety net becomes increasingly important as you progress toward the Night Lord encounter. In multiplayer, Wending Grace can appear as a legendary drop or be sold by a merchant, giving your whole squad one last stand if everyone goes down. The strategic timing of when to use Wending Grace is crucial. Do you use it during a difficult Day 2 night boss to ensure you reach Day 3? Or do you save it for the Night Lord himself, accepting the risk of an early death for the security of having a revive during the ultimate encounter? This decision often determines the outcome of your expedition. Secret number 10. Spirit Shelter. Merchants change based on progress. The Spirit Shelter that appears after defeating Day 2's night boss contains more than just a preparation area before the Night Lord fight. The merchants who materialize in this realm between worlds offer different inventories based on your overall progress through the game, the current Night Lord you are facing, and sometimes even your performance during the first 2 days. If you cleared multiple forts and defeated optional bosses during days 1 and 2, the Spirit Shelter merchants will stock more powerful buffs and rare consumables. If you barely scraped by, their offerings reflect your desperate need for basic survival items. The game quietly rewards thorough preparation by giving you access to better final preparation options. Pay special attention to any merchant selling elemental damage consumables that match the current Night Lord's weakness. These are often the difference between a grueling battle and a manageable one, especially for classes that lack innate elemental damage options. Part 2. The Hidden Depths of Nightfarer Abilities. Secret number 11. Wilder's Grappling Hook. Has air mobility. Wilder can use his grappling hook ability to not only pull himself along the ground, but also leap off to gain a burst of mobility that works in almost any direction, including in the air. This transforms his grapple from a simple gap closer into a full 3-dimensional movement tool. When you use the grapple, you can cancel the pull animation at any point by jumping. This launches Wilder in the direction of momentum, allowing for aerial resets and creative positioning that the game never explicitly teaches. You can grapple to a wall, jump cancel to gain height, then grapple again to a different surface, essentially creating a climbing ability that bypasses traditional pathfinding. This technique opens up shortcuts throughout Limveld. Cliffs that seem impassable become traversable. You can reach fort ramparts without entering through the main gate. Hidden ledges that appear inaccessible to other classes become easy pickings for a skilled Wilder player who understands the full potential of his grappling hook. Secret number 12. Wilder's ultimate can be charged. Wilder's ultimate ability can be charged to deliver a more powerful blow, but not charging it refunds some of the cooldown. This creates an interesting tactical decision. Do you use the quick, uncharged version for for consistent damage and faster cooldown cycling? Or do you commit to the charged version for maximum single-hit damage? Against enemies with brief vulnerability windows, the uncharged version allows you to deal damage during multiple openings rather than committing fully to one charged strike that might miss. Against slow, heavily armored opponents, the charged version breaks through defenses more effectively. Understanding this duality allows wilder players to adapt their ultimate usage to each specific encounter, maximizing damage output across an entire expedition, rather than treating the ability as a one-note tool. Secret number 13. Guardian's wings create safe zones. When Guardian activates his ability to sprout wings and generate a wind-churning cyclone, most players use it offensively, pushing enemies away. But the cyclone creates a temporary safe zone at its center, where allies can stand without being affected by the wind, effectively creating a protected healing space. This transforms Guardian's ability from a pure damage tool into a support ability. During chaotic multi-enemy encounters, Guardian can activate the cyclone, while allies retreat into its eye to safely use flasks, revive fallen teammates, or reposition without being swarmed. The cyclone also interrupts most enemy attacks, staggering foes who try to press through it. Combined with the safe center zone, this makes Guardian one of the best defenders in the game when his abilities are used with proper understanding rather than just as damage dealers. Secret number 14. Recluse's affinity collection powers her spells. The Recluse can collect 3 elemental attributes attached to allies and enemies, combining them to perform different spells. This system is more complex than it initially appears, as the order in which you collect affinities affects the resulting spell effect. Recluse's passive ability allows her to discover affinity residues that can be collected to replenish FP, meaning she is one of the only classes that can sustain magic usage indefinitely if she actively collects residues during combat. This makes her potentially the most powerful spellcaster in extended encounters where other magic users run dry. The key to mastering Recluse is understanding which affinity combinations produce which effects. Fire plus lightning plus physical creates an explosive blast. 3 ice affinities create a freezing wave. The number of combinations is extensive, and experimentation reveals devastating spell effects that are never explicitly documented in the game. Secret number 15. Recluse's blood sigil chains. Recluse's ultimate art, Soul Blood Song, unleashes a forbidden blood chant to brand nearby foes with blood sigils. What many players miss is that these sigils chain between branded enemies, creating cascade effects that multiply damage across entire groups. When you brand multiple enemies and damage one, the blood sigil detonates, dealing damage to all other branded foes and creating new sigils on any unbranded enemies hit by the explosion. This chain reaction can clear entire groups if you position enemies correctly before activating the ultimate. The forbidden nature of this blood magic hints at darker aspects of Recluse's background story, secrets revealed only through her remembrance quests. But mechanically, understanding the chain reaction transforms her from a solid spellcaster into a devastating area of effect powerhouse. Secret number 16. Duchess can dodge. While dodging, the Duchess is skilled in evasion and can dodge quickly several consecutive times. But there is more nuance to this than simply pressing dodge repeatedly. Her magnificent poise passive ability allows her to attack and dodge optimally, dodging repeatedly when necessary. The secret is that you can dodge cancel into another dodge during certain frames of the first dodge animation, creating a rapid repositioning tool that covers more ground than multiple standard dodges. This requires precise timing, but mastered Duchess players can weave through attack patterns that would catch any other class. Additionally, each dodge in a sequence costs slightly less stamina than the previous one, up to a maximum bonus. This encourages and rewards aggressive dodging rather than conservative spacing, fitting Duchess's Bloodborne-inspired aesthetic perfectly. Secret number 17. Duchess's Restage multiplies team damage. Duchess's character skill. Restage stages a reprisal of recent occurrences to damage nearby foes, essentially replaying attacks that landed on an enemy. In cooperative play, this means Restage multiplies the entire team's damage output if timed correctly. The ability snapshots the last several seconds of damage dealt to enemies in range. If your entire team just unleashed their strongest abilities on a boss, Duchess can restage immediately afterward to essentially double that burst damage window. Coordinated teams can use this to delete boss health bars during vulnerable phases. In solo play, Restage still shines by allowing you to extend your own damage windows, land a heavy combo, dodge away to safety, then Restage from a distance to deal the same damage again, without being in melee range. It is one of the strongest abilities in the game when properly understood. Secret number 18. Duchess's Finale saves. Desperate situations, Finale, Duchess's ultimate art, obscures self and surrounding allies to hide from foes. This is more than simple invisibility. It is a complete threat reset that causes enemies to lose aggro and reposition as if combat had never started. In desperate situations where your team is about to wipe, Duchess can activate Finale to give everyone a chance to heal, rebuff, and prepare for round 2. This reset is so complete that even bosses forget about you, allowing for repositioning that would be impossible in normal gameplay. The invisibility lasts long enough to fully heal, swap weapons, coordinate strategy over voice chat, and even move into better positions before re-engaging. It transforms Duchess from a pure damage dealer into one of the best support characters, capable of saving runs that seemed completely lost. Secret number 19. Iron Eye can revive at range. One of Iron Eye's standout mechanics is their ability to revive downed allies from a distance. Abilities like Wilder's Hookshot, Raider's Steely, and Iron Eye's Great Shot can revive allies while damaging enemies, allowing skilled players to save teammates without putting themselves in danger. For Iron Eye specifically, this means you can continue applying pressure to enemies, maintaining damage output and positioning control, while simultaneously reviving fallen allies. This gives Iron Eye a unique edge in cooperative play, allowing them to maintain pressure on enemies while still supporting teammates without repositioning dangerously. The skill ceiling of Iron Eye revolves around balancing damage, dealing with support functionality. Great players can keep enemies staggered and allies alive simultaneously, filling both the DPS and support roles that typically require 2 separate characters. Secret number 20. Iron Eye's marking creates team focus fire. Iron Eye's passive ability includes marking enemies with dagger cuts, creating a temporary weak point. When Iron Eye marks a target, all damage from all sources is increased against that enemy, not just Iron Eye's own damage. In team play, this transforms Iron Eye into a battlefield controller, who designates priority targets. Mark the most dangerous enemy, and your team instinctively knows where to focus fire. Mark a boss during a vulnerability window, and the entire team's damage is amplified. Iron Eye's passive Eagle Eye discovers more items from foes, meaning they naturally find more resources during runs. Combined with their marking ability and ranged revives, Iron Eye functions as a force multiplier who makes the entire team more effective, rather than just contributing personal damage. Secret number 21. Raider's Retaliate grows with damage taken. Raider's Fighter's Resolve passive ability causes taking damage to boost Retaliate potency and prevents being knocked down while using it. This creates a counter-attack playstyle where intentionally absorbing hits makes your next Retaliate devastating. The key is understanding the damage threshold. Small chip damage barely increases Retaliate power, but tanking a heavy attack right before retaliating can deal massive damage in return. Skilled Raider players intentionally bait dangerous attacks, tank them, then immediately retaliate for huge punish damage. The knockdown immunity during retaliate means you can trade hits with even the most powerful enemies without being interrupted, turning dangerous enemy attack patterns into opportunities rather than threats. Raider rewards brave, aggressive play more than any other class. Secret number 22. All characters have hidden passive synergies. Every Nightfarer has at least one hidden passive ability or synergy that is never explicitly listed in their skill descriptions. These discoveries require experimentation in the sparring grounds or observation during actual expeditions. For example, Executor's attacks build up hidden momentum stacks that increase subsequent attack speed. Guardian regenerates stamina faster when surrounded by multiple enemies. Revenant gains increase damage against enemies below 50% health. These unlisted mechanics reward players who invest time in understanding their chosen character deeply, rather than just reading the basic skill descriptions. The game deliberately keeps these synergies hidden to encourage experimentation and reward dedicated players. Finding these hidden mechanics creates moments of discovery and mastery that define the Nightfarer experience. Secret number 23. Ultimate arts can be used while invulnerable. Using ultimates makes you invulnerable mid-animation. This is one of the most important defensive mechanics in the game, allowing you to dodge otherwise unavoidable attacks by timing your ultimate activation correctly. See a boss winding up their most devastating area of effect attack. Activate your ultimate during their wind-up, and you will be completely invulnerable when it lands. This transforms ultimates from simple damage buttons into defensive tools that require skill and timing to use optimally. Advanced players use ultimate invulnerability to maintain pressure during dangerous phases. Instead of backing away from a boss during their most threatening attacks, you can ultimate through them, dealing damage while avoiding harm, keeping momentum in your favor throughout the entire encounter. Secret number 24. Character skills charge. Different ways character skills recharge passively over time, while ultimate abilities recharge based on weapon hits landed on enemies. Understanding this fundamental difference completely changes how you build and play each character. For character skills, cooldown reduction effects are valuable since the skill will recharge regardless of your combat activity. For ultimates, attack speed and hit count bonuses are more valuable than raw damage, since each individual hit contributes to charging the ultimate gauge. This explains why fast-hitting weapons like dual daggers or fist weapons charge ultimates remarkably fast despite lower per-hit damage, while slow weapons like colossal swords deal massive damage per ultimate use but struggle to build meter quickly. Build optimization requires understanding these charging mechanisms and selecting equipment that synergizes with them. Secret number 25. Touching other players' phantoms fills. Ultimate gauge. Touching the phantoms of other players helps fill up your ultimate art gauge a little bit. This subtle mechanic encourages moving through areas where other players have traveled, creating natural path, finding incentives that guide you toward popular routes that likely contain valuable resources. In multiplayer sessions, you will see your teammates' phantoms occasionally. Running through these phantoms provides small ultimate charge bumps that accumulate over an expedition. In areas with heavy player traffic, this passive charge gain becomes significant. This mechanic also creates an indirect form of communication between players across different sessions. Following phantom trails can lead you to secret areas or optimal farming routes that you might have missed otherwise. The game subtly guides players towards success without explicit markers or waypoints. Part 3. Weapon and Equipment Mastery. Secret number 26. All weapons block physically. All weapons in Nightreign offer 100% physical block, making them a viable emergency defense even without a shield. This fundamentally changes how you approach dangerous situations, since you always have a defensive option regardless of your build. If you are about to get hit and have nothing else, hold block with your weapon. You will take no physical damage from the blocked hit, though you will lose stamina and still take full elemental damage if the attack has magical components. This hidden mechanic is especially valuable for classes like Duchess and Recluse, who traditionally lack defensive options. Knowing you can emergency block transforms their playstyle from pure glass cannon into something more survivable, allowing for riskier positioning that increases overall damage output. Secret number 27. Passive effects. Stack from all equipped weapons. One of the biggest overlooked features is the ability to carry a weapon in all 6 slots and have 6 different passive effects active at the same time. The weapons do not need to be equipped in your hands to grant their passive benefits. Simply having them in your inventory slots is enough. If you are maining with a sword but pick up a bow with a damage boosting passive, keep it in your inventory. You gain the passive benefit without ever needing to actually use the bow. This applies to all weapon types and their unique passive effects. Many weapons have unique passive effects that continue to work while unequipped, as long as they remain in one of your 6 weapon slots. Spell weapons will still summon floating swords or fireballs automatically, even if you are not holding them, creating background damage that accumulates significantly over long encounters. Building your 6-weapon loadout becomes a mini-game of passive effect optimization. Do you prioritize damage bonuses, defensive effects, resource regeneration? The combinations are nearly endless, and discovering powerful synergies between weapon passives rewards experimentation and game knowledge. Secret number 28. Starting weapons. Have hidden upgrade paths. Your starting weapon seems basic at first, but hidden upgrade paths can transform it into one of the most powerful pieces of equipment in your arsenal. Specific relic combinations can add elemental damage, change scaling properties, or even grant entirely new attack patterns to starting weapons. These upgrade paths are never explicitly listed, discovered only through relic experimentation or community knowledge sharing. A starting weapon with the right relic combination can outperform legendary weapons found during expeditions, rewarding players who invest in understanding their character's default equipment rather than constantly chasing new drops. The starting weapon also benefits from unique upgrade opportunities at specific locations throughout Limveld. Certain NPCs offer to enhance starting equipment with materials found only in hidden areas, creating quest lines that interweave exploration with power progression. Secret number 29. Weapon skills override based on hand position. Having equipment in the offhand slot that comes with an ability or skill will override the weapon skill in the main hand slot. Understanding this interaction is crucial for maintaining access to the weapon skills you actually want to use. For players who do not want to switch between single and two-handed armaments during combat, they must meet one of the following conditions. The offhand equipment slot must be empty, or the offhand equipment slot must have a weapon or shield that does not have an active skill or ability. You can switch between single and two-handed armaments by holding the designated button combinations, allowing you to access different weapon skills depending on how you are wielding your equipment. This creates additional depth in weapon skill access, rewarding players who master the weapon stance system. Some weapons have dramatically different skills, depending on whether they are one-handed or two-handed, effectively functioning as two different weapons in one. Learning which weapons have valuable skills in both stances allows for incredible versatility without dedicating multiple inventory slots. Secret number 30. Smithing stones create rarity jumps. Smithing stones from mining tunnels can upgrade blue weapons to purple rarity. This is not just a damage increase, but a fundamental transformation that adds additional passive effects and sometimes even changes the weapon's skill. Mining tunnels become essential locations to clear early in each expedition, as the smithing stones they contain enable rarity upgrades that dramatically increase your power. A well-upgraded blue weapon often outperforms a baseline purple weapon, making smithing stone farming more valuable than legendary weapon hunting in many situations. Each merchant in Limveld stocks limited smithing stones, and ensuring their stocks are emptied facilitates smoother progression. Prioritize purchasing these stones whenever you encounter merchants, as having a stockpile allows you to upgrade whatever powerful weapon you find, rather than being limited by scarce upgrade materials. Secret number 31. Talismans have hidden set bonuses. Equipping multiple talismans from the same thematic set grants unlisted bonuses beyond the individual talisman effects. For example, wearing 3 talismans related to faith-based magic grants an additional holy damage bonus that is never explicitly stated. These set bonuses reward committed build specialization, rather than mixing and matching random powerful effects. A focused build utilizing talisman synergies often outperforms a scattered build with individually stronger talismans that lack synergistic relationships. Discovering which talismans belong to which sets requires careful examination of their descriptions and testing different combinations. The game intentionally obscures this system, rewarding players who invest in understanding the deeper equipment mechanics. Secret number 32. Weapon affinity determines boss effectiveness. Each weapon has a hidden affinity value that makes it more or less effective against specific Night Lords. Physical weapons struggle against Libra but excel against Gladius. Magic weapons demolish Fulgor but barely scratch Adele. In the finished version of Nightreign, players have the ability to identify boss weaknesses before setting out. If a boss is especially vulnerable to poison, you can tailor your run by prioritizing loot that increases your supply of poison-based tools and weapons. Understanding these matchups allows you to select appropriate equipment during the first 2 days of preparation. If you know Caligo is weak to fire, prioritize fire-infused weapons and fire damage buffs from merchants. This targeting preparation is the difference between a 3-hour struggle and a clean 10-minute victory. Secret number 33. Legendary weapons have guaranteed spawn conditions. While most weapon drops are randomized, legendary weapons have specific spawn conditions that guarantee their availability if you meet certain criteria. These conditions range from killing specific enemy types, to visiting locations in a particular order, to defeating optional bosses without taking damage. For example, one legendary greatsword only spawns if you defeat 3 different Night-type enemies during day 1 without healing between fights. Another legendary staff appears only if you collect all affinity residues in a specific region before the night boss spawns. These hidden conditions create mini-challenges within each expedition, rewarding skilled play and exploration with access to the game's most powerful weapons. Completing these challenges consistently requires both knowledge and execution, separating expert players from casual ones. Secret number 34. Consumables are more powerful than they appear. Berries, butterflies, and other glowing consumables can be taken to replenish some of your diminished resources, but specific consumables have hidden effects beyond simple resource restoration. Certain berries grant temporary buffs to specific damage types. Particular butterflies increase dodge invulnerability frames for a short duration. Glowing mushrooms found in ruins temporarily increase your item discovery rate, causing better drops from enemies and containers. The grease relic is incredibly strong, as for 30 seconds, you get a 10% damage boost after using an extremely common consumable that is easy to hoard, already gives you extra damage, and has status effect and elemental variance for all damage types in the game, to more effectively abuse boss weaknesses. Smart players hoard these consumables and deploy them strategically during boss encounters or difficult enemy groups, rather than using them randomly. A well-timed consumable can be the difference between victory and defeat, especially combined with relics that enhance consumable effectiveness. Secret number 35. Shields have active skills. Beyond blocking, many shields have unique skills activated by specific button combinations that are never explained in tutorials. Some shields can be thrust forward for a powerful bash that staggers enemies. Others can be raised overhead to create a barrier that protects nearby allies. These active shield skills use stamina but no FP, making them valuable tools for characters who struggle with mana management. A shield is not merely a defensive tool, but a weapon with its own combat applications that skilled players can weave into their attack patterns. Additionally, certain shields have hidden passive effects that activate under specific conditions. Some shields increase your poise when you are below half health. Others grant increased resistances to status effects based on how much stamina you have remaining. Reading between the lines of shield descriptions reveals these hidden properties. Secret number 36. Two-handing weapons changes more than damage. When you two-hand a weapon, you gain more than just the damage bonus the game explicitly shows. Two-handing also increases your effective strength for meeting requirements, changes your moveset to include unique attacks, and in some cases, alters the weapon's inherent guard strength and parry timing. Certain weapon skills function completely differently when two-handed versus one-handed, essentially giving you access to two different abilities with the same weapon. Learning which weapons have valuable two-handed skills allows for incredible versatility without inventory bloat. Two-handing also affects weapon passive effects in subtle ways. Some passives become stronger when two-handing, while others only activate when one-handing with an empty offhand. This hidden complexity rewards players who master the weapon stance system. Secret number 37. Magic weapons have hidden spell rotations. Staves and sacred seals always have two sorceries or incantations respectively. One fixed one that is cast with R1 L1, and one randomly generated one that is cast with R2 L2. Understanding how to optimize your spell rotation with these limited slots is key to magic class effectiveness. The fixed spell is always the same for a particular staff or seal, but the random spell changes each time you find that equipment piece. This means the same staff can function completely differently depending on which random spell it rolled, creating meaningful choices about which magic weapon to use even among the same type. Certain spell combinations create synergies where one spell sets up the effectiveness of the other. For example, a sorcery that creates a frost field, followed by a lightning spell that gets bonus damage against frozen enemies. Discovering these synergies and actively searching for them during expeditions separates good mages from great ones. Secret number 38. Ranged weapons have unlimited ammunition. All characters have unlimited ammo for ranged weapons, so do not be shy about using bows, crossbows, and throwing weapons throughout your entire expedition. This removes the resource management concern that plagued ranged builds in previous From Software games. This unlimited ammunition policy transforms ranged weapons from situational tools into viable primary armaments. Iron Eye obviously benefits most from this, but even melee-focused classes should carry a ranged weapon for pulling enemies, finishing wounded foes from safety, or dealing with aerial threats. The lack of ammunition concerns also means you can use ranged weapons for non-combat purposes without worry. Want to test if a platform is safe to land on? Shoot it. Wondering if that corpse is actually dead or about to ambush you? Arrow to the head. Ranged weapons become multi-purpose tools when ammunition is infinite. Secret number 39. Weapon skills can interrupt ultimate arts. While ultimate arts grant invulnerability during their animations, they can be intentionally cancelled early by using a weapon skill. This allows for advanced techniques where you gain the invulnerability of an ultimate without committing to its full animation, creating defensive options with offensive flexibility. Cancelling an ultimate before it completes does not refund the ultimate charge, but it does allow you to dodge follow-up attacks that might punish the ultimate's recovery frames. In high-level play, this cancel option transforms ultimates into perfect defensive tools that do not commit you to long, vulnerable animations. Certain ultimates are designed around being cancelled, with powerful initial hits followed by lengthy but skippable finisher animations. Learning which ultimates benefit most from cancelling versus playing out fully is an important skill cap consideration. Secret number 40. Equipment levels gate access, not stats weapons. No longer have stat requirements and can be used by all Nightfarers without exception. The only requirement is level gates that are pretty easy to overcome. This means you are never locked out of using a weapon due to stat distribution. Only your character level matters. This design decision removes build planning paralysis and allows you to experiment freely with any weapon you find. If you discover a legendary weapon but worry your stats are wrong for it, use it anyway. The weapon will function perfectly well, and you can decide if you like its feel without committing to a specific stat build. The level gates serve more as progression pacing than hard restrictions. More powerful weapons typically have higher level requirements before you can use them, but these requirements rarely exceed your character level if you are exploring thoroughly and defeating optional enemies. Part 4. The relic system revealed secret number. 41. Relics come in 3 quality tiers. Each relic will have a rarity, a delicate version that only provides 1 passive bonus, a polished version which has 2 passive bonuses, and a grand version which has all 3 passive bonuses. Understanding this quality system helps you evaluate which relics to keep versus which to sell. Grand relics are obviously most desirable, but do not underestimate focused delicate relics that provide a single powerful effect perfectly aligned with your build. Sometimes 1 perfect passive is better than 3 mediocre ones, especially if the grand relic has 2 passives that do not benefit your character. The quality tier also affects how much merc you receive when selling relics. Grand relics sell for significantly more, making them valuable currency generation even if their effects do not suit your playstyle. Smart players identify which grand relics they will never use and immediately sell them for merc to purchase more targeted upgrades. Secret number 42. Relic colors gate vessel, slots. Relics in Nightreign have different colors. Red, burning scene, green, tranquil scene, blue, drizzly scene, or yellow, luminous scene. Each Nightfarer has 3 relic slots that are color-coded, so you can only slot relics into them of their matching color. This color restriction forces build specialization and creates meaningful differences between characters beyond just their active abilities. Each Nightfarer has different color combinations, which naturally pushes them towards certain playstyles while making other builds more difficult. However, you can change your vessel to alter your color slot combinations. You can purchase goblets and other vessels at the Small Jar Bazaar after defeating certain bosses, giving you access to different color combinations that open up entirely new build possibilities for each character. Secret number 43. Relic effects can conflict. If 2 abilities are compatible but clash with each other, for example, 2 abilities that attempt to grant different elemental infusions to start a weapon, the game will highlight them with a red exclamation mark icon, with the leftmost relic overriding the others. This conflict system means relic slot positioning matters. You cannot simply equip your 3 most powerful relics without considering how they interact. The left slot has priority, so place your most important relic effect there if you are unsure about potential conflicts. Any ability that is not compatible with the character or their equipment is dimmed out, making it easy to identify which relic effects will actually function for your current build. This dimming system helps you avoid wasting relic slots on effects that provide no benefit. Secret number 44. Relics have hidden incompatibilities. A relic cannot hold more than one attack power up ability, including various forms like fire attack power up, improved guard counters, improved initial standard attack, and improved weapon-specific attack power. Understanding these incompatibilities helps you evaluate relic value. A relic cannot hold more than one improved spell type sorceries or incantations ability. For example, improved Carrion Sword sorcery cannot appear on the same relic as improved Godslayer incantations. This limits how much spell-specific boosting you can stack on a single relic. These hidden rules explain why certain relic combinations never appear despite being theoretically possible. The game has guardrails preventing excessive power stacking on individual relics, which keeps the overall power curve reasonable while still allowing for powerful specialized builds. Secret number 45. Character-specific relics transform playstyles. There are also unique relics that are specific to characters and can only be equipped by them. These character-specific relics often fundamentally change how the character plays, adding new mechanics or dramatically enhancing their signature abilities. For example, completing the first Wilder Remembrance quest rewards a relic that enhances follow-up attacks with the claw shot. This transforms Wilder's grapple from a simple gap closer into a combo tool that chains into enhanced damage strings. Most character-specific relics are obtained by unlocking and completing the Remembrance quests of each Nightfarer. These quests reveal character backstories while rewarding mechanical improvements, interweaving narrative and gameplay progression in satisfying ways. Secret number 46. Remembrance relics build toward true endings. Collecting all Remembrance relics for a specific character unlocks special ending variations and secret cutscenes that provide narrative closure to their personal story arcs. These secret endings add layers of meaning to each Nightfarer's journey and reward players who invest in completing all character content. The requirements for Remembrance completion often involve challenging objectives during expeditions, but the narrative payoff makes the effort worthwhile. Learning about Raiders' pirate past, Recluse's forbidden magic studies, or Guardian's protective oath adds emotional weight to characters who could otherwise feel like mechanical vessels for combat. These secret endings also unlock unique cosmetic rewards and occasionally even new abilities that carry over to subsequent playthroughs. Completionist players have mechanical incentives beyond just narrative satisfaction. Secret number 47. Boss relics stack with each other. Boss relics are obtained after you kill a Night Lord for the first time. Unlike many other relic types, boss relics are designed to be used together, with each one you collect making the other stronger through hidden synergy bonuses. Collecting all 8 boss relics creates a complete set that grants an unlisted 9th bonus, surpassing any individual relic effect. This reward for defeating all Night Lords pushes players to complete every expedition, rather than focusing on only a few. The Dark Knight versions of boss relics are obtained from the Collector Signboard catalogue after defeating the enhanced Everdark Sovereign version of the respective Night Lord. These upgraded versions have even stronger effects and different synergy bonuses, creating aspirational goals for endgame players. Secret number 48. Relics persist across failed runs. The power of the relics takes effect at the beginning of the expedition and will not be consumed after returning from Lands Between. so collect as many relics as you can to prepare for the next expedition. You do not lose relics at the end of each run. Instead, you are rewarded with relics whether you are successful in killing the Night Lord or not. This persistence transforms how you should approach failed runs. Rather than treating death as pure failure, view every expedition as relic collection regardless of outcome. Even a run where you die on day one still provides 1 or 2 relics toward your permanent progression. The knowledge that relics persist removes the pressure to succeed every run, allowing for more experimental builds and riskier strategies. Want to try a weird relic combination to see if it works? The worst case is you die, but keep the relics to try again with better knowledge. Secret number 49. Relic rotation speeds up progression. Rather than trying to perfect one character's relic build, rotating between different characters allows you to accumulate relics for all of them simultaneously. When you play Wilder, you might get relics perfect for Duchess. When you play Duchess, you might get relics perfect for Guardian. This cross-pollination of relic acquisition means your overall account power grows faster through character rotation than focusing solely on one main. Additionally, understanding different characters helps you appreciate their strengths and weaknesses, making you a better teammate in cooperative play. The relic system rewards wide roster exploration rather than one-trick specialization, which aligns with the game's roguelike structure where varied experiences trump repetitive optimization. Secret number 50. Selling relics is progression. You can sell relics in Nightreign to trade them for merc and buy new skins, gestures, and more. Do not hoard useless relics out of uncertainty. Actively sell anything you know you will never use. Scroll all the way to the right of the character tabs within the Relic Rights menu to find a sell tab. Regularly clearing out your relic inventory prevents clutter and generates merc for purchasing the specific relics you actually need from the Small Jar Bazaar. This is an excellent way to get more merc and clear out a cluttered relic inventory. Think of selling relics not as losing potential, but as converting uncertain value into guaranteed value you can spend immediately. Secret number 51. Some relics transform entire builds. Certain relics have effects so powerful that they enable entirely new playstyles that would otherwise be impossible. For example, relics that add substantial health regeneration on hit transform glass cannon characters into sustained fighters. Relics that convert FP costs into health costs allow mages to function without mana management. These build-defining relics are rare, often requiring defeating multiple Everdark sovereigns or completing challenging remembrance objectives. But when you find them, they open up build possibilities that feel like discovering secret characters hidden within the existing roster. The game deliberately includes these transformative relics to reward experimentation and ensure that even after hundreds of hours, players can still discover new ways to play. The relic system's depth rivals entire build systems from other action RPGs. Secret number 52. Relics can break intended limitations. Some relic combinations allow you to circumvent what seem like hard-coded character limitations. A relic that grants infinite stamina for 5 seconds after using a flask combined with a relic that shortens flask cooldown creates a loop of near-infinite stamina. A relic that provides FP on kill combined with high area of effect magic creates self-sustaining magic spam. These broken combinations are not accidents, but intentional rewards for players who invest deeply in the relic system. From Software respects players who find creative ways to become overpowered through knowledge and experimentation, rather than nerfing everything to maintain artificial difficulty. The roguelike structure means these powerful combinations are run-specific. You will not always have access to them, which prevents them from becoming boring. Instead, finding them feels like striking gold, turning a normal run into a victory lap. Secret number 53. Spirit summoning. Builds use specific relics. One of the 8 playable characters specializes in combat centered around ashes, offering a unique approach to their use compared to the original game. This character has access to relics that specifically enhance summoned spirits, creating an entirely different playstyle focused on commanding rather than direct combat. These spirit-enhancing relics affect summon health, damage, duration, and even number of summons. Fully built summoning characters can have 3 spirits active simultaneously, creating chaotic battlefields where you coordinate multiple allies rather than fighting directly. This playstyle requires different relic priorities than typical builds. Where most characters want direct combat bonuses, summoners want cooldown reduction, summon durability, and effects that trigger when summons die or kill enemies. Building around this alternate playstyle feels like playing a different game entirely. Secret number 54. Relics have hidden scaling. Many relic effects scale with hidden stats or thresholds that are never explicitly documented. A relic that grants bonus damage after using a flask does not have a fixed bonus. It scales based on your current health percentage when you drink. A relic that increases dodge distance scales with your equipment load. These hidden scaling factors reward min-maxing and create additional optimization possibilities. Understanding what makes each relic effect stronger or weaker allows you to build around maximizing their effectiveness, rather than just equipping them and hoping for the best. Community-driven research has uncovered many of these scaling factors, but new discoveries continue to emerge as players experiment with edge cases and unusual combinations. The relic system has surprising depth that reveals itself only through dedicated experimentation. Secret number 55. Relic priority changes per Night Lord. Different Night Lords have different elemental vulnerabilities and mechanical patterns that make certain relics more or less valuable for that specific encounter. A relic that seems mediocre generally might be essential for a particular Night Lord fight. Before attempting each Night Lord, review your relic loadout with that specific encounter in mind. If you know the Night Lord uses frequent area of effect attacks, equip relics that improve dodge effectiveness or reduce area of effect damage taken. If the Night Lord is vulnerable to a specific damage type, prioritize relics that boost that element. This encounter-specific optimization means you cannot settle on one best relic loadout for all situations. Managing multiple saved loadouts for different Night Lords is part of high-level play, similar to having different armor sets in other From Software games. Part 5. Boss Encounter Secrets. Secret number 56. Every Night Lord has a scripted weakness. Each Night Lord has a scripted weakness to a particular source of damage. For example, dealing even a small amount of lightning damage to Maris. Fathom of Night, as it channels its global sleep spell, is enough to break its stance and cancel the attack. These weaknesses are not just increased damage vulnerabilities, but specific interaction points that can interrupt dangerous attacks or create extended vulnerability windows. Learning these scripted weaknesses transforms seemingly impossible attacks into opportunities for massive punish damage. These weaknesses still apply if the boss is fought on day 1 or day 2, meaning if a Night Lord invades your expedition before day 3, you can use their weakness to defeat them more easily during the invasion encounter. Secret number 57. Night Lord invasion events grant unique buffs. Some Night Lords have special invasion events where they appear in a different expedition, and each gives you unique passives after you complete the event. So far, these invasions have been seen for Noster, Maris, and Libra. When a Night Lord invades, defeating them grants not just the usual expedition rewards, but also unique passive abilities that persist across future runs. These invasion-earned passives often provide substantial power boosts that make subsequent expeditions easier. The invasion system creates dynamic risk-reward scenarios. Do you engage with the invasion boss and risk failing your current expedition for the chance at powerful permanent rewards? Or do you avoid them and play it safe? These decisions add tension and strategy to the expedition structure. Secret number 58. Night bosses hint at Night Lord patterns. The night bosses that appear at the end of day 1 and day 2 often share attack patterns or mechanics with the Night Lord you will face on day 3. Paying attention to these night boss encounters provides valuable training for the ultimate showdown. For example, if a day 2 boss uses delayed attacks that punish panic dodging, expect the Night Lord to use similar timing tricks. If a night boss requires specific positioning to avoid area effects, the Night Lord likely has more punishing versions of the same mechanics. Viewing night bosses as practice opportunities rather than just obstacles transforms how you approach them. Instead of barely scraping by, actively experiment with different strategies and observe patterns that will help you in the final encounter. Secret number 59. Everdark Sovereigns start at Phase 2. The Night Lord bosses of Everdark Sovereign missions are significantly more difficult, featuring upgraded strength and new movesets. They start at Phase 2 and advance to an empowered Phase 3. This phase skip means Everdark Sovereigns do not give you the relatively easier first phase to learn their basic patterns. You are immediately thrown into the difficult portions of the fight, which demands that you already know the encounter well from defeating the regular version. Players can only challenge an Everdark Sovereign after defeating its standard Night Lord form, ensuring you have at least one successful clear before facing the enhanced version. This progression structure teaches you the fundamentals before testing your mastery. Secret number 60. Everdark Phase 3 introduces new mechanics. The Phase 3 that Everdark Sovereigns enter is not just a stat boost, but includes entirely new attacks and mechanics not seen in the regular encounters. These new phases often subvert patterns you learned from the base fight, requiring adaptation and new strategies. Some Everdark Phase 3s introduce environmental hazards like zone-wide effects that drain health or spawn additional enemies. Others grant the boss new movement options or attack chains that completely change optimal positioning. Each one feels like fighting a genuinely different boss, rather than just a harder version. Defeating Everdark Sovereigns in their third phase requires mastery of both the base encounter and quick adaptation to the new mechanics. It is the ultimate test of skill and game knowledge, reserved for players who have truly conquered Nightreign's challenges. Secret number 61. Libra punishes uncoordinated teams. You can accidentally doom your Elden Ring Nightreign team by attacking the newest enhanced boss at the wrong time. Libra has specific mechanics that punish teams do not coordinate their attacks, requiring communication and timing that is difficult with random teammates. Attacking Libra during certain vulnerability windows is encouraged, but attacking during other animations causes the boss to enter an empowered state that makes them nearly invincible. Learning which windows are safe versus dangerous requires experience or external knowledge. Do not play with randoms on any Night Lord before Libra, as the coordination required is extremely difficult without voice communication. If you plan to fight Libra, assemble a dedicated team or prepare for solo play, where you control all aspects of the encounter. Secret number 62. Bosses adapt over multiple encounters. Bosses in Nightreign are designed to adapt over time, so your go-to tactics may work early on, but may not at a later stage, making methods less effective. This adaptive AI means you cannot simply memorize one strategy and repeat it indefinitely. The adaptation is subtle at first. A boss might start dodging an attack pattern that previously always landed. They might begin punishing spacing that previously felt safe. Over multiple encounters, the boss learns from player behavior and adjusts their pattern selection to counter common strategies. This adaptive system rewards versatility over specialization. Players who can flow between multiple strategies depending on boss adaptation succeed more consistently than those who try to force one optimal approach. Flexibility becomes a skill as important as execution. Secret number 63. Optional bosses drop relics. Immediately, unlike Night Lords, whose rewards come at expedition end, defeating optional field bosses and Evergale bosses grants relic drops immediately during the run. These instant rewards can be equipped at the next site of grace, providing power spikes mid-expedition. This immediate reward structure incentivizes seeking out and defeating optional bosses during the first 2 days. A powerful relic found on day 1 makes the entire rest of your expedition easier, creating snowball potential where strong starts lead to overwhelming advantages. Knowing which optional bosses typically drop which relic types allows you to target specific encounters based on your build needs. Need more defensive relics? Hunt certain boss types. Want offensive boosts? Prioritize different encounters. Secret number 64. Some bosses drop legendary weapons. Specific bosses have chances to drop legendary weapons immediately upon defeat, adding them to your inventory for the remainder of that expedition. These drops are rare but game-changing, potentially giving you access to endgame quality weapons during day 1. The legendary weapon drop rates are higher from bosses you fight while underleveled, rewarding skilled players who can punch above their weight class. This risk-reward balance encourages tackling difficult content early when the legendary weapon drop will be most impactful. Certain legendary weapons only drop from specific bosses under specific conditions, creating hunt objectives for players who want particular items. This targeted farming adds long-term goals beyond just completing expeditions. Secret number 65. Bosses have hidden phase triggers. Most bosses transition between phases at specific health thresholds, but some have hidden phase triggers based on time elapsed, number of players alive, or specific attack patterns being used. Understanding these hidden triggers allows you to manipulate when phases begin. For example, one boss enters an enraged phase if the fight lasts longer than 8 minutes, but if you hold enough damage output to kill them in 7 minutes, you never see the enrage. Another boss enters a dangerous phase when any player dies, incentivizing perfect play rather than trading deaths for damage. These hidden triggers reward game knowledge and coordination. Teams that understand trigger conditions can optimize their strategy to skip dangerous phases entirely, or ensure they enter risky phases with maximum resources available. Secret number 66. Healing during boss fights is strategic. The temptation is to heal immediately when damaged, but understanding boss attack patterns allows for smarter healing windows that reduce overall flask consumption. Most bosses have extended sequences where they chain attacks without gaps, making healing during these sequences wasteful, as you will likely take damage again immediately. Wait for true downtime windows, usually after specific high commitment attacks or phase transitions, to heal efficiently. One healing during a safe window is worth more than 3 healings during dangerous moments that leave you vulnerable to punishment. This measured healing approach transforms flask management from reactive panic to strategic resource allocation. Running out of flasks is rarely about bad RNG, and usually about inefficient healing timing. Secret number 67. Boss health pools scale with player count. Boss health increases when playing with multiple players, but the increase is not linear. 3-player bosses do not have 3 times the health of solo bosses. The scaling is intentionally generous to make cooperative play feel rewarding rather than punishing. Understanding this scaling means solo attempts are not automatically harder than group attempts. While you lose the chaos and distraction that multiple players provide, you gain the advantage of a more manageable health pool and complete control over boss attention. Many skilled players prefer solo boss attempts for this reason, especially against bosses with dangerous area of effect attacks that become more chaotic with multiple player targets scattered across the arena. Secret number 68. Hailstorm has 2 complete phases. Nightreign's final boss Hailstorm is split into 2 phases, each with its own health bar. The first phase, the Shape of Night, lunges at Nightfarers with a single longsword until it loses about a quarter of its health, whereupon it sprouts an additional arm complete with a greatsword. The Shape of Night is not difficult in itself. The real challenge is conserving your health and flasks for the second phase. This resource management test punishes players who burn through supplies fighting the first form, leaving them unprepared for the true challenge. Hailstorm the Night Lord is the Night Aspect's second phase, beginning with him wielding what is effectively the Dark Moon Greatsword, the most iconic weapon in From Software's armory. This phase introduces dramatically different attack patterns and requires completely different strategies than the first phase. Secret number 69. Some bosses can be trivialized. Every boss has at least one strategy or build that makes the encounter dramatically easier than intended. These are not glitches, but mechanical interactions that the developers left in the game as rewards for players who discover them. For example, one Night Lord becomes nearly helpless against high poise builds that can tank through their attacks and maintain pressure. Another Night Lord's most dangerous attacks are completely negated by specific talismans that grant immunity to their status effect. Finding these trivializing strategies feels like discovering secrets that give you an edge. creating satisfaction through knowledge and preparation rather than pure execution. The game respects players clever enough to find these advantages. Secret number 70. Boss rewards scale with clear speed. Defeating bosses faster grants better rewards, particularly higher quality relics and more merc. This speed bonus rewards skilled play and optimized builds, creating incentives for efficiency beyond just saving time. The scaling threshold is generous enough that you do not need hitless perfect execution, but clearing a boss in under 3 minutes versus 10 minutes makes a substantial difference in reward quality. This pushes players toward improving their gameplay rather than just barely surviving encounters. Speed-focused builds that sacrifice some survivability for increased damage output become more appealing when you understand this reward scaling. The risks of glass cannon builds are justified by the substantially better rewards for successful fast clears. Part 6. Environmental mysteries and hidden locations. Secret number 71. Sorcerer's Rise puzzles have two types. Mage Towers, or Sorcerer's Rise, have two common styles in Nightreign. The first is the closed style, where the magic barrier completely blocks the entrance to the base of the tower. The second is the open style, wherein the base of the tower is open, but access to the top is prohibited. Depending on the style of the tower, this indicates where to start looking for the magic seals to get to the top. Closed style means you will find the magic barrier outside the tower in nearby areas like trees, lakes, or walls. Open style means you will find the magic barrier inside the tower. Some Sorcerer's Rises are special ruined towers that have multiple seals which can detonate when broken. One seal location is often right above the front door, making it easy to miss if you only search at ground level. Secret number 72. Destroying objects reveals hidden seals. You can use crest to open Sorcerer's Rises in nearby areas, but they might be concealed. Try destroying any destructible objects if a crest is not visible, because some of them can be hidden inside tree stumps. This hidden object system means the absence of visible seals does not mean you are in the wrong location. Begin systematically destroying nearby environmental objects. Tree stumps, barrels, hollow logs, brittle stone formations. One of them contains the seal you need. Once inside the Sorcerer's Rise, always climb and reach the second level of the structure to get more rewards. The ground floor rewards are decent, but the best treasures always await those who make the effort to reach the top. Secret number 73. Some seals require specific damage types. While most seals can be broken with any attack, certain special seals only respond to specific damage types. A fire seal requires fire damage to break. A magic seal requires magic damage. Physical attacks have no effect on these specialized barriers. This requirement creates situations where you need to find or equip specific weapons or consumables to progress. If you encounter a seal that will not break, consider what damage type you are lacking and search for equipment or items that provide it. These specialized seals guard the most valuable rewards in Sorcerer's Rises, creating mini-puzzles that reward prepared players while gating content from those who neglect build diversity. Secret number 74. Churches contain more than flask upgrades. Great churches have bosses that drop incantation seals and usually have hidden chests and more stone-sword keys. These churches are more than just flask upgrade stations. They are dungeons in their own right, with valuable rewards for thorough exploration. The hidden chests in churches are often concealed behind illusory walls, or require finding hidden switches. Check behind statues, examine suspicious floor tiles, and strike walls that look slightly different from others. The rewards include powerful incantations and rare upgrade materials. Churches also sometimes contain NPCs, who offer unique services or quests. These NPCs only appear if you thoroughly explore the church, rather than just grabbing the obvious flask upgrade and leaving. Secret number 75. Evergales contain better loot. Later, Evergales can be opened with Stonesword keys, and bosses inside grow more powerful the later the jails are opened. This scaling system means deciding when to open Evergales is a strategic choice. Open them early for easier fights but worse rewards. Open them late for difficult fights but substantially better loot. The optimal strategy depends on your build strength and risk tolerance. Evergale boss encounters are not randomized like other content. The same boss is always in the same Evergale during a given run type. This consistency allows you to plan around which Evergales to prioritize, based on which bosses they contain and which rewards you need. Secret number 76. Mining tunnels are speed run priorities. Mining tunnels contain concentrated smithing stone caches that dramatically accelerate your weapon upgrade progression. Identifying and clearing these tunnels early in day 1 creates power spikes that make the entire expedition easier. The tunnels are relatively short and contain minimal enemy resistance compared to their reward value, making them the highest efficiency content in terms of time invested versus power gained. Speedrunners prioritize tunnel clears above almost everything else. Each expedition type has mining tunnels in roughly the same locations, allowing you to memorize efficient tunnel routes that you can execute quickly across multiple runs. This route knowledge becomes second nature for experienced players. Secret number 77. Ruins always have 3 loot tiers. Every ruin in Limvell contains 3 tiers of loot. Surface chests that anyone can find, mid-tier rewards requiring minor exploration, and the underground dungeon accessed via illusory floor that contains the best treasures. Understanding this 3-tier system prevents you from leaving ruins early when there are still valuable rewards to claim. If you only grab the surface chests, you found maybe 30% of that ruin's total loot. Keep searching until you have cleared all. 3 tiers. The time investment for full ruin clears is worthwhile because the underground tier often contains legendary items or multiple stacking buffs that provide more value than clearing several other surface locations. Secret number 78. Specific ruin. Types spawn specific bosses. The ruin layout type determines which field boss can spawn there. Learning these associations allows you to target specific boss fights when you need particular rewards they drop. For example, Night-type bosses always spawn in rectangular ruins with intact pillars. Caster-type bosses spawn in circular ruins with central daces. Creature-type bosses spawn in overgrown ruins with collapsed sections. This pattern recognition allows efficient boss hunting. Need a night boss for its legendary weapon drop? Only check rectangular pillar ruins rather than exploring every ruin hoping to get lucky. Secret number 79. Some locations only appear during specific days. Certain locations in Limveld phase in and out of existence depending on which day you are experiencing. A path might only exist during day 2. A merchant might only appear on day 1. These temporal locations create urgency around thorough exploration each day. Missing a day-specific location means missing its rewards for that entire expedition. Experienced players have mental checklists of day-specific content to ensure they hit everything before it phases out. The time-specific nature of these locations also creates interesting risks. Do you rush to a day-specific merchant before they vanish, potentially missing other important preparation? Or do you skip them in favor of more reliable resource gathering? Secret number 80. Waterfalls hide. Secret paths. Multiple waterfalls throughout Limveld conceal passages behind them. These passages lead to isolated areas containing powerful loot, unique NPCs, or even entire hidden boss arenas. The game provides subtle visual hints. Waterfalls with secrets often have slight color variations or unusual mist patterns compared to purely decorative waterfalls. Learning to spot these tells allows you to identify waterfall secrets without exhaustively checking every single one. Waterfall passages frequently contain loot themed around water and ice, including talismans that grant frost resistance or weapons with inherent cold damage. If you are building around ice damage, waterfall areas become high priority targets. Secret number 81. Poison swamps have islands with immunity. While most swamp areas inflict constant poison buildup, certain raised islands within the swamps grant temporary poison immunity while standing on them. These safe zones allow you to clear your poison status and heal safely before venturing back into the toxic waters. These islands are strategically placed to create routing puzzles. The optimal path through a swamp involves moving from safe island to safe island, minimizing time spent in toxic water. Rushing straight across without using the islands wastes healing resources unnecessarily. Some islands contain loot or NPCs, rewarding players who explore the swamps thoroughly, rather than just trying to pass through them as quickly as possible. Secret number 82. Graveyards spawn enemies from corpses. In certain graveyard areas, corpses on the ground are not just environmental decoration. They are spawn points for enemies that arise when you approach or after certain time triggers. Understanding this mechanic allows you to control enemy spawns rather than being surprised by them. You can often prevent spawns by destroying corpses before they animate, using fire damage or heavy attacks on the bodies as you pass through. This preemptive destruction makes graveyards much safer to traverse. Alternatively, you can intentionally trigger all spawns at once, fight the enemies in a controlled situation, then explore the graveyard safely afterward without worrying about surprise attacks. This clear first explore second approach works well for methodical players. Secret number 83. Forests have hidden NPC encounters. Deep in forest areas, hidden NPCs offer unique services not available elsewhere. These include specialized merchants selling build-specific items, quest givers who unlock character storylines, and even friendly spirits who provide temporary buffs. Finding these NPCs requires getting off the obvious paths and exploring the darker, more tangled forest sections. Look for clearings with unusual lighting or flower arrangements. These often mark hidden NPC locations. The services these NPCs provide are unique enough that building entire strategies around accessing them is viable. Some offer weapon enhancements unavailable anywhere else. Others sell talismans that completely enable certain builds. Secret number 84. Cliffs have alternate descent routes. Cliffs that seem to force backtracking often have hidden descent routes along their edges. These routes include narrow ledges, deliberate stepping stone paths, or even tree branches you can drop onto safely. Finding these alternate routes saves substantial time compared to backtracking to the official path. In timed expedition gameplay where every minute matters, cliff shortcuts provide crucial time advantages. Some cliff descents lead to isolated valleys containing rare enemies or valuable loot that cannot be accessed any other way. These rewards justify the risk of potentially falling to your death during descent attempts. Secret number 85. Enemy camps have hierarchies. In enemy camps, there is always one enemy who serves as the commander. Killing this specific enemy first causes all other camp enemies to become less aggressive and sometimes even flee. Identifying and targeting commanders makes camp clearing dramatically easier. Commanders are identifiable by subtle visual tells, slightly better equipment, central positioning, or unique idle animations. Learning these tells allows quick commander identification as you approach camps. Killing the commander first also yields better loot, and sometimes causes the entire camp to instantly surrender, granting you all camp rewards without fighting every enemy. This interaction is never explicitly taught, but rewards observant players. Part 7. Advanced Systems and Endgame Secrets. Secret number 86. Death near grace allows self-revive. We discussed this earlier, but it bears repeating because of its importance. If you die in close proximity to sites of grace, you can resurrect yourself without the help of your teammates. While you do not have unlimited time for this, if you act quickly enough and crawl into the radius of grace, you will be automatically resurrected. This mechanic has additional nuance worth exploring. The grace radius is larger than it visually appears. You can often resurrect from distances that seem too far. Additionally, the grace continues healing you while you crawl, meaning even if you are taking damage from poison or bleed effects, the grace healing might allow you to survive long enough to reach the resurrection threshold. Strategic players position fights near graces intentionally, effectively gaining an extra life during difficult encounters. This tactical positioning separates skilled players from those who fight wherever enemies happen to be. Secret number 87. Phantom Touches Charge. Ultimates. Touching the phantoms of other players helps fill up your ultimate art gauge a little bit. This means running through heavily trafficked areas provides passive ultimate charge simply from intersecting with phantom trails. In areas with extreme player traffic, you can fully charge your ultimate just from running around collecting phantom charges without landing a single attack. This free ultimate charge is especially valuable at the start of expeditions, when you lack powerful weapons to charge quickly through combat. You can see areas of high player traffic by observing phantom density on your screen. Following these phantom highways leads you toward popular routes that likely contain valuable resources, creating an organic guidance system through player behavior rather than explicit markers. Secret number 88. Deep of Night mode changes everything. The Deep of Night mode introduced in updates dramatically increases difficulty, but also provides access to unique rewards and equipment tiers not available in normal expeditions. During Deep of Night expeditions, players have a chance to obtain exclusive weapons and equipment from red variants with powerful effects balanced by notable drawbacks. These red tier weapons and armor pieces represent a new power ceiling that makes Deep of Night mode essential for endgame players chasing maximum power. The drawbacks are substantial: health drain, reduced defense, or even random debuffs. But the power gains are worth the risks for optimized builds. Deep of Night also introduces mechanical twist to familiar encounters, requiring veteran players to relearn fights they thought they had mastered. Bosses gain new attacks, environmental hazards become more punishing, and even basic enemies require respect. Secret number 89. Round Table Hold has hidden areas. The Round Table Hold itself contains secret areas accessible only after meeting specific progression thresholds. These areas include a hidden armory accessed by defeating all 8 standard Night Lords, a secret garden that appears after completing certain remembrance quests, and even a locked vault that opens when you collect specific key items scattered across expeditions. These hidden areas contain cosmetic rewards like unique character skins, emotes, and even furniture pieces for customizing your personal room in the hold. While cosmetic, these rewards provide tangible goals for completionist players. Some hidden areas also contain lore documents that provide deeper context about the world of Nightreign, explaining how this timeline diverged from the original Elden Ring and what role the Night truly plays in the grand scheme of things. Secret number 90. Journal entries unlock progressively. The journal in Round Table Hold contains remembrance quests, but new entries only appear after completing previous ones. This sequential structure means you cannot simply grind out all remembrances immediately. They unlock as you progress through each character's narrative arc. Some remembrance requirements are deliberately obscure, requiring specific actions during expeditions that are never explicitly stated. For example, one remembrance requires using a specific emote in front of a hidden NPC location. Another requires defeating a boss without using healing items. These obscure requirements create community puzzle-solving opportunities where players share discoveries about how to progress specific remembrances. The deliberate obscurity makes completing them feel like genuine achievements rather than simple check marks. Secret number 91. Collector Signboard contains secret purchases. The collector signboard that trades sovereign sigils for relics contains hidden purchase options that only appear after meeting specific conditions. These hidden purchases include the most powerful relics in the game, sometimes requiring dozens of sovereign sigils to afford. The hidden purchases appear when you defeat all Everdark sovereigns, complete specific remembrance chains, or collect all relics of a certain type. These unlock conditions are never explicitly stated, creating discovery moments when new options suddenly appear on the signboard. Saving sovereign sigils for these hidden purchases is often more valuable than immediately spending them on visible options. Experienced players hoard sigils until they unlock the hidden inventory, then make informed decisions about which premium relics to purchase. Secret number 92. The Dresser unlocks secret cosmetics. The Dresser system mentioned in guides allows customizing character appearance, but it contains hidden cosmetic slots that only appear after completing specific challenges. These include secret color variations of existing outfits, unique accessories, and even full outfit sets themed around defeated Night Lords. Unlocking all cosmetic options requires comprehensive engagement with every system in the game. Defeating all bosses, completing all remembrances, collecting all relics, and even finding hidden collectibles scattered across Limveld. While purely cosmetic, these unlocks provide tangible goals for players who have mastered the mechanical side of the game, and want additional objectives to pursue. Fashion is the true endgame, as the saying goes. Secret number 93. Matchmaking passwords. Enable friend groups. The matchmaking password system allows you to reliably play with specific friends rather than being matched with random players. Setting a password ensures only players with that same password can join your expedition, creating private sessions. This system is essential for coordinated team compositions and strategies that require voice communication and practice teamwork. Random matchmaking works for casual play, but serious Night Lord attempts benefit enormously from organized groups using passwords. The password system also enables community events where players use specific passwords to create impromptu tournaments or challenge runs, fostering community engagement beyond the game's built-in social features. Secret number 94. Solo play has distinct advantages. While Nightreign is designed around cooperative play, solo runs offer unique benefits. Boss health scales down substantially, and you have complete control over aggro and positioning. Some bosses are actually easier solo, because their area of effect attacks are less chaotic when targeting only one player. Solo play also allows for riskier builds that might endanger teammates in cooperative play. Glass cannon builds that would get allies killed through collateral damage or uncontrolled boss movement work perfectly fine when you are the only target. The solo experience feels fundamentally different from cooperative play, essentially providing two games in one depending on which mode you choose. Mastering both modes requires learning different strategies and approaches. Secret number 95. Multiple characters share some progression. While relics are character-specific, certain progression elements like unlocked expeditions, discovered merchant locations, and defeated Everdark sovereigns are account-wide. This shared progression reduces the burden of leveling multiple characters. Understanding which progression is shared versus character-specific helps you make efficient decisions about which character to play for specific goals. Want to unlock new expeditions? Play your strongest character. Want to build up a new character's relic collection? Play that character regardless of expedition difficulty. This hybrid progression system respects player time by not requiring complete repetition across characters, while still maintaining individual character identity through unique relic collections and remembrance progress. Secret number 96. Endings vary by character and choices. The ending you see after defeating Healstore depends on which character you played and which choices you made throughout that character's remembrance questline. Multiple endings exist, encouraging players to complete the game with different characters to see all narrative conclusions. Some endings are dramatically different, offering alternate interpretations of what the knight represents and what defeating Healstore actually accomplishes. Other endings are subtle variations that provide character-specific closure to individual storylines. Completionist players chase all endings, treating the finale as a collection goal rather than a one-time story conclusion. This multi-ending structure increases replayability beyond the mechanical roguelike loop. Secret number 97. Post-credit scenes hold secrets. Nightreign ends with a post-credit sequence showing the Erdtree restored. This scene has sparked extensive community speculation about whether Limveld and the original Lands Between are truly separate timelines or connected through cycles of night and dawn. The post-credits content varies based on your ending path sometimes showing different versions of the restored world, or hinting at different fates for the Nightfarers themselves. Watching all post-credits variations requires completing the game multiple times under different conditions. These post-credit scenes also hint at potential DLC content, showing locations and characters not accessible in the base game. Attentive players have catalogued these hints to predict future content releases. Secret number 98. Codex contains hidden mechanics, documentation. There are so many deep and hidden secrets to mastering Nightreign, and many of them can be found by reading the entire Codex carefully. The Codex is not just lore flavor text, but actually contains mechanical information about game systems. For example, touching the phantoms of other players helps fill up your ultimate art gauge is documented in the Codex, but most players never read it thoroughly enough to discover this. Do you know how to recognize the signs of an incoming cataclysm of the Nightfallen? Have you ever found the remains of a fellow Nightfarer and the tools of their grief? These mechanics are explained in Codex entries if you read carefully. The Codex is extensive, and reading it completely takes substantial time. But the mechanical insights it provides are worth the investment, often explaining systems that seem mysterious through gameplay alone. Secret number 99. Community discourse reveals hidden strategies. The official Elden, Ring Nightreign Discord server and community forums contain collective knowledge about mechanics and strategies not documented anywhere in-game. Players share optimal builds, boss strategies, and hidden mechanics discoveries that would take hundreds of hours to find independently. Engaging with the community dramatically accelerates learning, especially for new players who might otherwise struggle for dozens of hours before discovering basic optimization strategies. The community has essentially created an unofficial advanced tutorial through shared knowledge. That said, discovering things yourself without community help provides a unique satisfaction. Some players deliberately avoid community resources to preserve the discovery experience, treating the game as a personal puzzle to solve rather than a challenge to optimize through external knowledge. Secret number 1. 100. The journey never truly ends. The final secret of Elden Ring, Nightreign, is that mastery is a process, not a destination. Even after hundreds of hours, players continue discovering new strategies, weapon combinations, and mechanical interactions. The game's depth rewards continuous experimentation and learning. The roguelike structure ensures that every run feels different, creating infinite variety within finite content. The combinations of weapons, relics, bosses, and environmental conditions are so numerous that truly identical runs are statistically impossible. This endless depth, combined with regular updates adding new Everdark Sovereigns and DLC content, means Nightreign can sustain engagement far beyond what its initial scope suggests. The more you learn, the more you realize there is still to discover. And so, we reach the end of our journey through these 100 secrets hidden within the endless night. From the twisted geography of Limveld to the deepest mechanical intricacies of the relic system, from the adaptive intelligence of Night Lords to the subtle environmental storytelling of this broken world, we have explored the layers upon layers of depth that make Nightreign such a rich experience. Some of these secrets are practical advantages that will improve your success in expeditions. Others are lore fragments that paint a fuller picture of this alternate timeline, where the night came instead of the tarnished. All of them reward curiosity, experimentation, and dedication to understanding this complex game beyond its surface mechanics. Remember, Nightfarer, that knowledge is power in the world of Limveld. The more you understand about how this realm operates, the better equipped you are to face its challenges. But knowledge without action remains theoretical. Take what you have learned here and apply it in your expeditions. Test these secrets yourself. Discover which strategies work for your preferred playstyle. Build upon this foundation with your own discoveries. The night is eternal, but so is the will of those who stand against it. Every secret you uncover, every mechanic you master, every boss you defeat, brings you closer to understanding what it truly means to be a Nightfarer. You are not simply warriors summoned to save a dying world. You are seekers of truth in a realm where truth itself has been obscured by shadow. So rest now by the fire. Let these secrets settle into your mind like snowflakes accumulating on winter ground. And when you next venture forth into Limveld, you will do so with eyes more open, understanding more keen, and strategies more refined. The journey through the endless night continues, but you walk it now with knowledge as your torch. Drop a comment below and tell me where you are listening from tonight and which games you would like me to cover next. If you are enjoying these peaceful journeys through the lore and secrets of gaming's greatest worlds, do not forget to subscribe so you catch every new video. Until next time, may your sleep be deep, your dreams be pleasant, and your next expedition through the night be successful. Good night, cozy nights.